Good afternoon, everyone. At the top this day, a gas explosion levels a house in Portage County and kills 2 family members. The explosion was in Suffield in Portage County. The sheriff's department there says a grandmother and grandson died when the house exploded around 4 o'clock this morning. News Channel 5's Moriel Liu has been on the scene since this morning. Moriel joins us with the details. Moriel, what can you tell us?
Well, Leon, good afternoon. The operating theory here is that a 500-gallon propane tank exploded here. A grandmother and her grandson were inside. You can see there's absolutely nothing left of this house. Debris stretches as far as the eye can see. It was felt 5 miles away. There's debris here several hundred yards away. 911 calls came in from 3 different counties, which really speaks to the magnitude of this blast. We were given home video shot by a News Channel 5 viewer who wanted us to see the terrifying moments right after this blast. And I do have to tell you, for those of you watching at home, parts of my report might be a bit disturbing. Home video from a sudden house explosion shook this Portage County neighborhood for miles. Screams filled the night sky as neighbors watched helplessly in terror.
Just laid down and it about knocked me out of my bed. Felt like somebody kicked the house. I mean, literally kicked the house. And my wife jumped up and we opened the door to see what it was, and all you could hear was car alarms. And you couldn't really see anything at first, and then we started hearing all these explosions. I don't know what to say. I'm just at a loss.
Jim Ramnitz was a close friend of the victims. 63-year-old Regina Proudfoot and her 21-year-old grandson, Robert Croft, were killed when Proudfoot's 500-gallon propane tank exploded. A deep crater now sits where the house once was. Debris stretches for more than 500 yards.
I live approximately 5 miles from here. The sound of the explosion woke me up. I knew it wasn't a car crash. I knew it was something significant.
As the sun began to rise, the scope of the damage became more clear. Smoking debris in the yard, rooftops, in the trees. Family members too pained to speak, mourning the loss of a boy and his grandmother.
I'm shocked. She was a good friend. Her husband had just passed recently, and she was just a good person.
You see, cleanup crews are on the scene here now. 3 houses here that we know of were severely damaged on the inside. The walls were cracked. Surprisingly, the house back here by the blast site, it's a surprise that it's still standing. Well, that is the house of the daughter of the woman who was killed here today. We're told that the blast, again, was so powerful that her house is now uninhabitable. She will have to find another place to go, at least for now, but no one is allowed to go inside that house. We also know that utilities have been cut off just to make sure that these crews here are safely on and that there's not another potential explosion here while they attempt to start the cleanup. But again, debris all the way down as far as the eye can see for several hundred yards. But you know, the people that I spoke with today, they're not really worried about the cleanup, Leon. Right now, they're just really focused on the great loss that they suffered here today in their community. Reporting live in Suffield Township, I'm Moriel Liu, News Channel 5.
Moriel, before you get away, let me take you back to the top of your report. You said that this explosion could be felt or certainly heard 5 miles away.
Leon, that's absolutely right, and it really puts in perspective how powerful this explosion was. The police chief of Suffield Township said that he lives 5 miles away. He was asleep, and when he heard this explosion in his house 5 miles away, he said he knew something terrible had happened.
Many thanks for your report. Moriel Liu handling the story for us from Portage County, the community of Suffield. Thank you, Moriel. We'll hear more on this story certainly later on today. Well, the state fire marshal sent us some information about propane-related explosions in Ohio. Since 2001, 15 propane-related explosions have been reported to the state fire marshal's office. Those explosions led to 5 deaths. 4 of those deaths were this year and in northeast Ohio. There were explosions last month in Hinckley and now today in Suffield Township in Portage County.